How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. I made a video on every franchise's best team in the Eastern Conference from this decade. Here's the link if you haven't seen it yet. Today, we'll take a look at the best teams from each franchise in the Western Conference. Starting with the Northwest Division, the Denver Nuggets 2018-19 going 54-28. It wasn't even their best record of the decade. In fact, the franchise won 57 games in the 2013 season, but was ousted in the first round. 2019 led by Nikola Jokic, alongside solid players in Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, and Paul Millsap, finished number 2 in the West, fell to Portland in the semis in 7, the franchise's first playoff appearance in 6 years. The 2013 team had Iggy, Ty Lawson, Gallinari, Kenneth Faried, and Andre Miller. The 2019 team, in my opinion, was better. The Minnesota Timberwolves, a joke of a franchise for the most part. The team only made the postseason once in 2017-18, winning 47 games with the addition of Jimmy Butler, who missed 23 games, and the team struggled without him. Dropped all the way to the 8th seed. Karl Towns and Wiggins' stats went down. The team would have likely won in the low to mid 50s if Butler was fully healthy. Jamal Crawford came off the bench. D. Rose was picked up later in the season, lost to the Rockets in an easy 5-game series. Butler left shortly after. The franchise continues to struggle. The Oklahoma City Thunder. It's an absolute travesty OKC did not win a championship this decade. Even though the team made the finals in 2012, 2016 in my opinion was their best team, being stacked at every position despite the team only going 55-27 in the regular season. Durant was fully healthy after coming back from injury. Him and Russ were 27 years old at their best, alongside sharpshooter Dion Waiters, good role players in Andre Robertson, Serge Ibaka, Enes Kanter, and big boy Steven Adams. Absolutely ran the 67 win Spurs out of the gym. In the semis, winning in 6 games, on the brink of knocking off the 73-win Warriors, up 3 games to 1. Their size and quickness was overwhelming for Draymond. Westbrook was taking it right at Curry, but the two superstars played terrible in Game 6 down the stretch. A combined 20 of 58 from the field. If the two would have clicked better, they might have won multiple titles. While the 2012 team was still too young, 2016 was also better than 2014. The Portland Trailblazers, the 2018-19 team, reached its first conference final since 2000. Lillard and McCollum were at the height of their powers at 28 and 27 years old, alongside defensive-minded Al-Farouq Aminu, Mo Harkless, a young Zach Collins, Rodney Hood, Seth Curry, Myers Leonard, and Jake Layman were productive role players. Impressively knocked off OKC in 5 in the first round, beat Denver in 7 in the semis, but swept by Golden State in the conference finals. They were better than the 2014 team that won 54 games in my opinion. The Utah Jazz, I'm going with the 2009-2010 team, led by prime Darren Williams, prime Carlos Boozer, a solid Andre Kirilenko, Mehmet Okur, and Paul Millsap, Wesley Matthews, Kyle Korver, and Ronnie Brewer. Knocked off the 4-seeded Nuggets in the first round in an impressive 6-game win over Carmelo, but swept by Kobe's Lakers. Since Bryant destroyed anybody Jerry Sloan drew at him, Gasol also got the best of Boozer. This team is more complete than the 2017 Jazz with Gordon Hayward and Gobert, and also better than the 2018 team with rookie Donovan Mitchell in my opinion. On to the Pacific Division, the Golden State Warriors, not the 73-win team, not even close, but the 2016-17 season, after getting Kevin Durant, they only won 67 games without breaking a sweat though, arguably one of the top 3 greatest teams all time, if not the greatest. After Durant announced his talents to Golden State, they were pretty much guaranteed to be champions. The team went on to easily sweep Portland in the first round, swept Utah and San Antonio after, before edging out LeBron's Cavs in 5 games, where Durant absolutely went off in the finals, averaged over 35 a game, knocking down clutch jumpers, arguably his best playoff series all time, winning finals MVP. The team might have gone undefeated if it wasn't for the terrible officiating in Game 4 of the finals, where the calls were favoring Cleveland. The Los Angeles Clippers, the 2014-15 team, going 56-26 in the regular season. The team won 56 games 2 seasons before and 57 games in 2014, but this 2015 team had no excuses to not win the title. CP3 and Blake Griffin were in their primes. JJ Redick and Jamal Crawford were solid role players. DeAndre Jordan, the defensive anchor, combined with Matt Barnes, Austin Rivers, and Glenn Davis, they knocked off the defending champion Spurs in the first round in an epic 7-game series thanks to Chris Paul's go-ahead game winner, the moment that should have gotten them over the hump, but collapsed in Game 6 against Houston, up almost 20 points in the second half, blowing the lead and the 3-1 series lead. Unacceptable at all standards, and an atrocity amongst all atrocities given the team's depth. I honestly thought they would have had a shot against Golden State and win the championship that year, but not to worry, Clippers fans. I believe Kawhi Leonard will lead this franchise to a title in the 2020s decade, if not multiple titles. The Los Angeles Lakers, the 2009-2010 season, despite just going 57-25 in the regular season, the team wasn't as young, led by the best player in the game at the time in 31-year-old Kobe Bryant, alongside 29-year-old Pau Gasol. Lamar Odom and Ron Artest were 30, Fisher 35, a young banged up 22-year-old Bynum. Only 7 games were separated between the 1st and 8th seed. Thankfully, Kobe hit 7-game winners that regular season to give them home court advantage in the West, knocked off OKC in 6 games, swept Utah, got revenge against Phoenix, beating them in 6, and edged out Boston in the classic 7-game series. Kobe absolutely dominated against Utah and Phoenix, crushed the Suns in Game 6, and did all he can to beat Boston. Despite not shooting well in some games, the Mamba won his 5th and final championship. The Phoenix Suns, the franchise has been an absolute travesty throughout the decade. Last made the postseason in 2009-2010, winning 54 games when Nash and Stoudemire were still around. They had role players in Jason Richardson, Grant Hill, Channing Frye, Jared Dudley, Goran Dragic, Leandro Barbosa, and Robin Lopez. Their last shot in contending before Amari left in free agency, knocked off Brandon Roy's Blazers in the first round, got revenge and swept San Antonio in the semis in a shocking outcome, and did everything they can, taking Kobe's Lakers to 6 games, but the Mamba was just too good for them. Nash ended up ringless in his career. Amari took his talents to New York. The franchise has not been the same since. The Sacramento Kings, an even bigger travesty of a franchise in the 2010s decade. The team failed to win more than 33 games in the DeMarcus Cousins era, unacceptable at all standards. Didn't win 39 games until 2018-19, led by second-year sensation De'Aaron Fox. The team was rebuilding, not even supposed to come close to making the playoffs. They did get the 9th seed. Buddy Hield was improving, and an underrated shooting guard. Marvin Bagley had a productive rookie season. Bogdanovich was clutch off the bench. The players brought excitement back to their fans, and this season they're fighting for a playoff spot. The last time the franchise made the postseason, 2006. On to the Southwest Division, the Dallas Mavericks, 2010-2011 without a doubt, winning 57 games and winning the championship. Dirk Nowitzki had one of the most amazing playoff runs in NBA history, also earned everything and dominated, knocking off the Blazers in the first round, sweeping the Lakers in the semis. The whole team put on an absolute clinic, draining jumpers left and right. Dirk went bananas against OKC, destroyed Serge Ibaka in every way imaginable, averaged over 32 those 5 games on 56, 34, 97 shooting splits, shocked Miami in the finals, coming back down 15 in the 4th of Game 2 and doing just enough to capture his first title, the defining moment of his 21-year career. Tyson Chandler was the perfect center for Dirk. How about knocking off the best players in Kobe, KD, LeBron, and D Wade in the same playoff run? Amazing stuff. The Houston Rockets, the 2017-18 season, winning 65 games. The Chris Paul trade seemed to be a home run, with the team being unstoppable offensively in the regular season. Their defense has also improved, a 10-game improvement from the season before. Harden averaged 30.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, almost 9 assists. CP3 nearly 19 and 8. Role players in Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker with Clint Capella excelled in their roles. One of the best teams this decade to not win a title. They smacked Minnesota and Utah in 5. Was up 3-2 against the defending champs, but Chris Paul's injury happened at the wrong possible time. The team went super cold from 3 in Game 7, one of the biggest what-ifs of the decade. The Memphis Grizzlies, the 2012-13 season, the best win percentage in franchise history, going 56-26 overall, led by Mike Conley, Marc Gasol, Zebo, Tony Allen, Tayshaun Prince. They ended up being the 5th seed after losing the first 2 to the Clippers. The team won 4 straight with their size, physicality, and defense, knocked off OKC in the semis without Russell Westbrook, a 5-game series win, but was no match for San Antonio, getting swept in the conference finals. Tony Parker absolutely dominated them. The 2017-18 New Orleans Pelicans, 48 wins, Anthony Davis' most successful team with the franchise. After the Cousins injury, the team signed Nikola Mirotic, who was excellent in the first round of the playoffs, led by Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo in the backcourt. They absolutely outplayed and shut down Damian Lillard in the first round. AD finished top 3 in MVP voting, averaged 28 and 11, 2.5 block shots on 53% shooting, advanced to the semis, losing to Golden State in 5. The San Antonio Spurs, after the lockout year in '99 until 2018, the franchise won at least 50 games every season, defined by excellence in every way imaginable. In the Tim Duncan era, the 2013-14 Spurs were the best San Antonio team of the decade, winning 62 games. They won 60 plus 4 different times this decade alone. This team would not be denied. After a devastating loss to Miami the season before in the finals, the Big Three got older, but Kawhi was emerging emerging at 22 years old got better, the bench of Boris Diaw, Manu Ginobili, Thiago Splitter, Patty Mills, and Corey Joseph all contributed. Their hardest opponent was actually in the first round against the 8-seeded Mavs, who took them to 7 games before beating Portland in 5, got revenge against OKC, closed out Game 6 in overtime, went on to obliterate Miami in 5 games, outscored the Heat by 70 total points, played the game as beautifully as any team in recent times. The 2014 Spurs rhythm and ball movement was a true thing of beauty. Now for my rankings for every franchise's best team of the decade from both conferences, since I put out a video on the East a couple days before. From worst to best, the very worst, the 2016 Pistons, 44 wins, the 8th seed, had no business being in the playoffs. The second worst, the 2019 Kings, winning 39 games in the West, would have been a playoff team if they were in the East. The third worst, the Charlotte Hornets team, who won 48 games in 2016, followed by the 2014 Nets, 44 wins with old KG and Pierce, lost in the semis, the 2017 Wizards winning 49 games, followed by the 2018 Timberwolves with Jimmy Butler, Cat, and Wiggins, who were the 8th seed, the 2013 Knicks, led by Prime Melo, Prime J.R. Smith, and a bunch of old guys, the 2015 Hawks, the most overrated 60-win team of the decade. No one thought they were legit contenders anyway. The 2019 Nuggets team, winning 54 games, but not very experienced, lost in the semis, led by Jokic, followed by the dysfunctional 2014 Pacers, winning 56 games, but couldn't put it together in the postseason. Number 20, the 2019 Blazers, led by Prime Dame and CJ, reaching the conference finals. The 2010 Jazz, the best version of Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer, lost to Kobe's Lakers in the semis, followed by the 2013 Grizzlies, who won 56 games, would have lost in the semis if Westbrook was healthy, followed by the 2011 Bulls, 62 wins, led by Prime Derrick Rose. The 2019 Sixers, led by Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons. The 2019 Bucks won 60 games with MVP Giannis, but was exposed by Toronto in the conference finals. The 2015 LA Clippers, who choked to Houston in the semis, so much for their 56-win season. Number 12, the 2010 Suns, led by 35-year-old Nash and Prime Amari. 11, the 2015 Warriors, still very young at the time. Number 10, the 2019 Raptors. The team had the right players at the right time, combined with KD's injury, was just able to beat Philly, knock off Milwaukee in 6, and eliminate the 2-time defending champs. Number 9, the 2016 Thunder, had all the length, athleticism, and size, without a doubt title contenders, and perhaps they could have beaten the Cavs in the finals if they didn't blow it against Golden State. Number 8, the 2016 Cavs, led by 31-year-old LeBron James. Kyrie was super clutch, so was Kevin Love, but if Draymond wasn't suspended for Game 5, I truly believe Golden State would have won in 5. Number 7, the 2010 Celtics, a win away from another championship. The team defense was excellent, but they were just too old to raise the trophy for the second time in 3 years. Number 6, the 2010 Lakers, led by 31-year-old Kobe. Perfect second option Pau Gasol beat the Celtics in 7. Number 5, the 2011 Mavs, led by 32-year-old Dirk Nowitzki, was absolutely sensational. Number 4, the 2018 Rockets, who I thought was a little better than some of the title teams this decade, but bumped into one of the best teams all time. Harden and CP3 were both amazing at the same time. Number 3, the 2013 Miami Heat, 66 wins, Prime LeBron barely beat San Antonio, but still one of the best teams this decade. Number 2, the 2014 Spurs, their ball movement and unselfishness was just breathtaking, could not have played any better in the finals. And number 1, the 2017 Warriors, with Prime Durant, Prime Steph, Prime Clay, Prime Draymond, nothing else needs to be said. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be announcing a potential giveaway on my next video before Christmas. Stay tuned. I love all of you. See you next time.